Hello tubes! She's back together as a rolling chassis again. I just did that this morning. So sorry I haven't been able to do as much filming as I'd like. It's just been, I have to be honest, I've been under a bit of pressure with everything here. Because it's gone so dry, they've got to carry water for the animals at the moment as well. So this is all back together, it's all fitting correctly, which is great. Turbo clutch, everything is all in. Just got to put that ring of bolts round there now. And then start putting these pipes back together. Fuel tank was a real twat to take off and on. So that's going to be awkward to put back on, but never mind, we'll deal with that. I know ring leaking in that valve block in there. So I've left the one cab mount off, and I'll do that before I put the cab on. So basically the proposition is now is to put all these bolts in there, and remember, this tractor has never had a turbo clutch in before. It's always had a normal clutch, so a fluid flywheel, and that's there. So that's got to be filled with oil. You've got to put this at a mark and you've got to fill that with oil then. So we've got to do that. There's no oil at all in these back ends, so that's all got to be done. All these fittings here have got to be piped back in. A lot of work yet, a lot of work. So I'll try and get my head down and do this now this afternoon. Well tubes, here we are. We've put on instrument cluster there really for the right hand side as you sat in the cab. That has to go on first, and surprisingly enough that's only held on by 4 bolts on this side. I thought it would be more than that, so just 4 bolts there. I'm in the process of cleaning this off at the moment. I've got a seal gone in there, so I've been colour coding these, and I'm going to do it because it's a bit of an awkward job to get that off. You've got to get the wheel off and that, so I'm going to either do this now after, or put the cab on and then do it after, because I still can get at it. So I'm just going to leave them not fixed up at the moment onto there, if you see what I mean. Yeah, that's how it works, them things. So we are getting there now. I spent a lot of time yesterday getting pipes hooked up and things, and I put this back outside bearing cover on because that was missing. That was on the one I got before. So, hold on, what's happened to that block? Looks like it's going to fall down, doesn't it? Well, YouTubers, the cab's back on. We have the cab on. Oh, a mate of mine came to help me this morning to put that on. That was a bit of a task, but it went okay really. So it's just sat on the cab mount at the moment. So there's quite a lot of fitting and fucking around to do underneath with the small bits. So it looks like it's coming together, which it is coming together, but there's still a lot of work yet. There's probably there's no oil in it. All the back end isn't on. So there's another week's work here, I think. But it is looking good. And one of the good things is, I thought I might have to extend the bonnet, but it doesn't, because it's actually exactly the same length as the other one. It looks a bit short there, but there's a piece that goes in between there, so that's good. So it's looking well, tubers. It's looking very well. I'm sorry I haven't been able to video this on time lapse and things, because I have to be honest, it was just too much of a rush to get it all done. My mate was lucky enough, had been able to help me for a couple of hours this morning, so I didn't want to piss him about too much, to be honest. So we were having a little bit of a problem with the rubber dampers on it, where the ones at the back are wore, and the ones at the front seem to have the cab sat down a little bit too much forward. But I'll have to have a look at that now. I'm not quite sure what's happening there, but we'll deal with that. So there we are. She's coming together. Well, tubers, I've been putting various pipes and levers back on. This has took me ages in here to do all the shift levers, and I've took most of the play out, obviously not that one, but out of the other ones with different bolts. But I'm missing two of these short little joiners here, which is a twat. I have looked everywhere for them, I don't know where they've gone. Well, they're here somewhere, no doubt, but there we are. So we are getting there. We're starting to do the brakes. I've been putting, like I said, all that together in there. If you see what I mean, there's two of the little short levers missing there at the moment. Handbrake. I've just put this back on and joined these back up, but they still need to do the levers going down to the brakes down here. You can't quite see it, but it's down here. There's a little lever there. See that puts the handbrake and the brakes on. So that bit there, that goes to that, and that's to do with oh god, I can't remember the name for it now. The other lever in the cab for when you're ploughing and shit. It's gone out of my head, the name of it. So we are getting there. This has took me quite a few hours to mess around with this today. A lot of the joints are fitted in there correctly. There's a few odd wires I'm not sure of yet, and the brake lines need putting up and obviously bleeding through. Fuel tanks aren't on yet neither, and if I remember rightly, it was a hell of a job to get the fuel tanks off. So you got one this side and one the far side, and they got really awkward pipes that go underneath and join them together. It's a nightmare. So I might just put one on this side for now, just to see if it all works correctly. And of course, this is the filter that goes underneath the bottom of the engine. So that's the oil filter that's bolted up, sorry, underneath the bottom of the gearbox and the back end there. And there's a pipe then, a long pipe that connects it up, where the pump on the front suctions all the oil from the back end up. Dear little bit, that is 60 quid, that filter. So we are getting there. Not sure whether to take these pipes off yet. They were for a front end loader when I originally bought it. I was thinking about getting a front end loader for it if it works okay, but we might just roll them up for now and put them out of sight there. There's a heater and air conditioning pipes. They need to be joined up, but most of it is a back end here at the moment, so as we get on I will do it. Hello tubes, we've done the brakes, the hand brakes, the filter underneath, all that's put on. Yeah, that's all gone okay. So we haven't bled the foot brakes through yet, so we'll do that after. Now, this is what I was going to talk about now, is the various oils I've got to put in. So that's the rear axle oil, which has got 8 litres in each side. Now that Titan ATF is for the turbo clutch, so you've got to fill that to how many litres, I'll see in a minute. Turbo clutch is 8.8 litres or 9.2 litres for the 1455, so about 8 litres. That stuff there then is for the rear end of the tractor, so you need 2 of them, and you also use that in the brakes. So that's Exol. Can you see that? So you also use that in the brakes to bleed the brakes through. I think it's because it goes into the rear axle or something. So there are all the capacities and the amount of litres that you use. There, that's the book. So I'm going to fill it all up with oil and everything now and continue putting this all together, and hopefully we should see this thing going by the end of the week. Hopefully. It's been a hard job. Right, this is quite an important thing to tell everybody here, because I've had a bit of a problem with this today. I can't stop it leaking oil from here. And what it is, there's a bearing holder that bolts onto there with them 4 screws, and it pushes a seal around the PTO shaft, and it isn't working correctly, not with this machine I've got now. So what I've done is I've pulled that bearing out. Now that's the one that came out of it, and this is the one out of my old tractor. Now this here come off my old tractor, so that went on there, but that would not seal on this shaft. And if you look at it, there's a thread on that one and there isn't on that one. It's got a bit of a chamfer on it. So this is the one I've just took out of the tractor that wouldn't seal, and now I've just took this one out of that old PTO of the old gearbox, and hopefully this one will go on there and it should seal. Well, we'll soon see now. So if you are doing this job, I think there's some spacers and things you can do this with, but if you look, my finger is there's a thread on this one and it's slightly different. So I don't know 100% what it is, but be careful if you're expecting something to work up, because sometimes it just don't. Right, we've slipped this shaft back in. It wasn't that hard to get in there, to be honest. So that's slipped correctly in there now, and that big bearing holder, wherever I put it, is here somewhere. There, that's it. That now will slip over this shaft and it'll seal on that chamfer there, look, which wasn't on the other one. So I think we're sorted here now, with a bit of luck. So I'll put this other seal assembly there that stops the bearing coming out as well, and we'll see if we can stop the leak. Right, there you are. I put that shaft in there last night, put oil in it, and it's all dry, so that's all sorted. I've got a bit of a problem with this side and that side. They're leaking gear oil. Now remember, this had been on fire, so I hope the seals aren't completely knackered, but there we are. If they are, we'll have to take the bellows off again, and we'll see if it all works first. I don't think they were. They looked okay anyway to me. But there we are. Hopefully I've just overfilled them. That's what I think it could be, but there's like breather holes in the bottom. Where they go into there, then they go into a bearing, there's a little drain hole. I think that's where it's coming out of. Not 100% sure, but we'll have to see. But this is what we're going to do now is, if you look here, you've got a couple of marks there. The top one is for 1455, and I think the middle one is for the 1255, and that in there is a turbo clutch. So I undo that and I put the correct amount of oil in there. Now I'm going to measure it because it says it in the book, so I'll just tip it in there then, and that's the fluid flywheel level done then. So I will do that now.